Hey y'all, good afternoon. John with New York Metro Weather, back with another update. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a great day so far. Welcome to February too. We got through January, which seemed like an entire year in its own right. But we're in February. We're a little closer to spring. That's the good news. The bad news is that the pattern is active and it's cold, and we have a lot to deal with over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to warm up. It already started warming up today in New York. Tomorrow's going to be even warmer. It's going to feel like it's in the 40s. And that's going to be all fine and dandy. But what happens later this week is very complicated and is going to produce all kinds of problems for us. So we need to be careful with this forecast, and I'm going to break it all down for you as we move forward. So this is valid Wednesday morning. We're looking at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and more importantly, we're looking at the vorticity or spin in the atmosphere, and also the height field in the mid-levels, so about 10,000 feet up. You'll notice we have a ton going on here in the four corners again, and the main thing to notice is this gradient that exists here. So the height field tightens up considerably. You see down here there's a lot of space between these lines. Right up here in the Ohio Valley and into southeast Canada, it really tightens up. So that tells you that there's a gradient in the height field. There's a temperature gradient as well. And it's all because you have this disturbance coming out here and this very, very sharp disturbance in southeast Canada that's compressing that flow down. And so as a result, all of this disturbance, all this vorticity is going to eject to the east. It's going to do so very gradually from Wednesday into Thursday and then into Friday, all the while battling this disturbance coming down from southeast Canada. And so that squeeze play is going to lead to the development of a prolonged period of precipitation along a frontal boundary. All in all, that's not that concerning, because you would assume that it would be warm and then that most of that precipitation would be rain in New York. That's where you'd be mistaken, because associated with that disturbance in southeast Canada, a strong area of high pressure. And so as a result, just as our low pressure starts forming on that front, on that gradient we were talking about, this strong and very anomalous high pressure leaks over to the east here. And it keeps that low pressure from amplifying to our west, which would ensure that the warm air would come up with it. Instead, it flattens it down and it allows cold air in the low levels to filter down into the forecast region. So the European model, here's the evolution of this all. We have clear and calm weather through Wednesday. We know it's going to warm up a little bit, but then by Wednesday night into Thursday, you see that front is producing an area of precipitation basically from southern Texas all the way to New England and Maine. And look at the temperature gradient here. We have rain in much of the Ohio Valley and the southeast states, ice in the central Ohio Valley, and then snow on the north side of that into parts of New England. We mentioned that high pressure coming over. That's going to push that cold air down. So watch closely here. It looks like a rainstorm, but it's not all that simple, because by the time that starts to get closer to us, the frontal boundary, all of a sudden you're shifting that cold down. So you're starting to get snowflakes that are melting, freezing rain, you're starting to get the possibility of sleet, and maybe even some snow in the northern suburbs as this evolves through our area Thursday and then specifically on Friday. That's the European model. And the European model has trended colder with this storm. We talked yesterday, we said the European was warmer, the GFS was colder. Well, the GFS has remained colder and the European has kind of inched in that direction. Here's the GFS Thursday afternoon. You can see it's mostly rain, crappy weather in New York. But by Thursday night, that cold air starts seeping down. And the GFS says that by Friday morning, this is not rain anymore. This is freezing rain and ice in parts of eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and even possibly the New York City Metro into parts of Connecticut. There's sleet here in the northern suburbs and snow all the way north in New England. And that freezing rain continues into Friday afternoon on the GFS model. So the main thing to get across here is that Wednesday into Thursday looks rainy, but it's Thursday night into Friday that we're starting to get a little concerned about the potential for icing. Here's the European, the latest European model. Here we are. We start as rain Thursday night. This is valid around midnight. And then look what happens on Friday morning. All of a sudden, that cold air is kind of creeping down, and the model is showing freezing rain developing across northern New Jersey and the New York City Metro. So what produces freezing rain? Why does this happen? We're taking a look now at a forecast sounding. We broke these down yesterday and a little bit before as well. This is an average of what the model suggests is going to happen in northern New Jersey and the New York City metro area. And I want to turn your attention to this part of the sounding. So we're looking at the atmosphere vertically, right? This is where we stand right here at the very bottom line. And then as you go up here, you're getting into the higher elevations. So this is right around where airplanes fly, 500 millibars, about 10,000 feet up. And then if you go way, way up here, you're way at the top of where we observe our weather. This temperature line, this 0 degree line, you see it kind of goes from left to right a little bit on this chart. You need this entire red line, the temperature profile, to be below zero in order to produce a snowflake that reaches the ground. So let's say your snowflake gets produced right around here, right? But maybe between 600 and 700 millibars, right? The atmosphere produces a snowflake. As that snowflake falls, it is melting on the way down because it is to the right of that 0 degree line. It's melting about 4,000 or 5,000 feet up above our heads. And by the time it gets back down to us, it is now refreezing. It is only 23 degrees where we are. So if a snowflake melts on the way down, and then it melts into a raindrop, and then it hits the ground, and it's 23 degrees on the ground, what do you think is going to happen? That snowflake is going to either fall as a sleet pellet, because it refroze already, or if it does hit the ground as a raindrop, it's going to freeze on whatever surface it's on. That includes roads, cars, homes, power lines, and that could cause major issues. We want to look at the evolution of this on the European model to get an idea as to how it's going to evolve. This is a 4-panel map, obviously, and we're looking at all the different precipitation types that the European is showing. So here we are on Thursday. You see it's all rain to start, right? So we have some rain falling, and that's great. Friday morning, by the time we get into like 2, 3 a.m., you're starting to see freezing rain start to appear in northern New Jersey and southeast New York. And then by the time we get to around daybreak on Friday, now there's freezing rain into the New York City Metro and northern New Jersey as well. So that's just telling you it's still raining, but it's refreezing because the surface is getting colder and colder. And you see that continues now. This is valid Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Now we've tallied up quite a bit of freezing rain. Some sleet has fallen. And in the northern suburbs, it's even snowed a bit on top of that. And then finally, by Friday night, this thing gets out of here. Large majority of this is rain to start, but then the European model suggests that freezing rain comes in, even some sleet, and maybe even some snow. So how do you sum this all up? It's a mess, man. That's it. It's a mess. And we're going to have to figure this out as we get closer day by day. Right now, again, just to go through the timing on the European model, this is a Wednesday night into Thursday rain event. It gets showery, it's warmer, it's raining. But it's Thursday night into Friday when the model guidance suggests that temperatures could come crashing down, and then that rain and those sleet pellets, all of a sudden everything is refreezing on the surface, and we have problems. It could cause travel problems, it could be hazardous out there, and we want to keep a focus on this. What we'd like to see, if you don't want to have travel issues and major issues like this throughout New England, you want to see this storm trend more amplified so that it's mostly rain for our region and the majority of the precipitation falls as rain, and then the system can get out of here. We'd probably still have a refreeze issue because it would get so much colder behind the storm, but we'd like to avoid a prolonged period of this pink and orange crap, which is freezing rain and sleet and some snow, all refreezing on a surface that's getting colder and colder as the storm goes on. We really would like to avoid that. That just leads to a whole slew of issues. I know people enjoy snowstorms. They're peaceful, they're serene, they're beautiful. Nobody that I know enjoys freezing rain or sleet. It's just not fun for anybody. So to keep a very close eye on this from Thursday into Friday, and then this storm system will get out of here from Friday into Saturday. A couple models suggest maybe something to watch Sunday, but that is very low confidence. We don't even really want to touch on it too much. The main focus at the moment is this Thursday into Friday potential freezing rain event. Again, we're going to be watching very closely. Small adjustments to this could make a big difference in where this storm system tracks, and honestly, we'd like to avoid that freezing rain. If you're looking to plan in advance, right now, a good thing to do is to leave yourself some extra time Thursday into Friday. Know that the possibility exists for some significant impacts. If it does happen like the models are currently indicating, there will be at least some impact to travel. So plan ahead. Make sure you have some contingency plans in place with this storm possibly bringing freezing rain, sleet, and snow to the area from Thursday into Friday. That's all we got for today. We will be back with a lot more information on Wednesday as we get like a higher confidence going as the storm gets a little bit closer. For now, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.